My name is Christopher Ardalan. I've been practicing for over 23 years as an attorney. I've been involved in working in a law firm since I was 15 years old. I got involved in this case about 2 weeks or so before the case actually had to be tried. When I first got the case, I had basic information about what the case was about. I understood it was a rear-end collision. I understood what the fights were. It wasn't going to be a fight really on liability. It was going to be more of a fight on causation and damages. I had to deal with multiple layers of stories. The first layer was the human story from the eyes of the family. The second one was the medical story through the eyes of the physicians that saw her. When you're dealing with something as complicated as a traumatic brain injury, it's not intuitive to jurors. I mean, you can't just walk into a court and be able to describe a traumatic brain injury and what happens inside the brain and the mechanisms that are involved that can actually cause that injury is simply through the use of words. The animations that we had here that was done by DK helped us be able to tell a story to the jury that let the experts be able to describe the mechanism of the injury, that added color to the videos of what was going on with her in her life, that they can put the medical story together with the human story to show that those two things connect. One of the big obstacles I had in this case is that we didn't have the plaintiff testify. We had her found to be deemed incompetent, essentially, for the purposes of trial as well as her deposition. The jury was not going to hear through her eyes what the accident looked like or felt. And one of the difficulties that we had was, how are we going to present this accident when we don't have the person there? Fortunately, we had one eyewitness, but it was a car ahead of her. We were able to have DK Global put together an animation of what the accident should look like, and then was able to play that through the eyewitness who saw the accident to say that it was substantially similar to what she viewed through a rear view mirror, to be able to establish between the damage that was on the car as well as the way that the cars came into contact with each other, that this is how the accident happened. Seeing something in motion that can actually show the jury how the damage occurs in the brain, that was critical in terms of being able to simplify the understanding of the jury so that they can understand the causation, so that we can get the connection we need to get the result we need to get. They had offered $500,000 up to 2 weeks before trial, and only raised it to $1 million right before trial, and never tried to put any more money on it. They ultimately ended up having to pay 14 times more than that, $11 million. When you add the prejudgment interest and costs into that, they're gonna owe close to $14 million on a case. Because at the end of the day, what I was asking this jury to do is to understand that what was taken away from my client were the moments that mean so much, that give our lives meaning. And when that's taken away from us and it's replaced with what they saw was replaced in this woman's life, that has value.